Whoa, there we go. Hey, welcome to Darren Bernard Poor Boy Crafts, and you just seen the action of my new dice roller. Natural 20s. Woohoo! But this is what we're going to make today. This is a domed dice roller. Real neat, real easy to make. It's going to be fun and real cheap to make. Remember, if you like what you see, hit that like button, share it to all your friends. And if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. You'll be able to make stuff like this all day long for real cheap. Real neat. So we're going to set this aside. And I'm going to show you how to make that. I'm going to start with a dome. You can get these at Dollar Tree for $1.25. Real easy. I'm going to clean all this off. That's the hard part. There we go. Get that all looking nice. Starting with this. Now, get your foam board. Want to use this as a template. We're going to make about 4 or 5 of these circles. Okay? So, what you need to do, that's my weak knife here. There we go. Now I got my sharp knife. Yeah, we're going to cut them out. Alrighty, now we're going to peel these off here. I want to get as much of the black off there as possible. If you don't get it all off there, it don't really matter. But as much off there as possible. Then we'll take our aluminum ball, roll over it. There we go, just like that. Give it a nice stone texture. Now we're going to find center of these. These are about 3 1/4 diameter or circumference. And so we're going to find 1 and 1.5, a little bit above 1.5. Make a dot. Come around. Make another dot. That'll give us center. Just going to poke my pencil through it. Now it doesn't have to be exact center, but that gives us a close proximity. And that gives us, like I said, about 4, maybe 5. I got a whole mess of them over here because that's what we're going to need to make our steps. Well, now we're going to need our pole that goes up the center. Right there. This guy is 5 inches, just a little under 5 inches long. So, and the easy way to find out, make sure that you got this the right size is if you get yourself a longer, let's see, a longer pole. Get yourself a longer pole, stick it up like that at the end of the table, and bring your you almost need 3 hands, but if you bring your roller to the side like that, and then you'll be able to mark it with your finger. And that should be 5. Yep, it's, according to this, it's 4 5/8. So that gives you a really good way of doing it. A little bit of ingenuity there, but you can, it'll get what needs to be done. So first thing we're going to do is glue the pole into the center. I am I'm not with it this morning. I didn't glue in I forgot to plug in my glue gun, so we'll have to wait there for a second. All right, she's heated up now. Right in the center of these, there's an actual spot that you can see where center is on this one. But be very generous with the glue here. Because we want to make sure that this guy ain't going nowhere. But you also want to make sure that this puppy's straight. Easy way to do that, after you get it in there, put the lid back on it. Okay. Gotta take her back off. Bring her back over this way. Make sure that it lines right up with the dot right on the top there. Perfect. See how that's straight there? Just like that. And once you get that straight, once the glue sets up, now we're ready to go with the steps. There we go. First thing you want to do, oh, that's trash. Take one of your circles and a blade, cut it in half. Now again, it doesn't have to be precise. Just like that, that'll be good. Now you want that little circle that you made with your pencil, you want to make that just a little bit bigger to accommodate around the pole. Once you get that into place, you're going to want to go around the sides and kind of trim it. Just a little bit. Don't glue it yet. Because you want this thing to lay flat. So you got to trim it to make sure that it'll lay flat. And you want to keep it away from the wall. That's what we're doing here. You want, because this thing here slides inside it. That's what all the trimming's about. But you want to keep it close. So this is what you're aiming for. Boom, like that. That's what you're aiming for. Trying to get it as close as possible. Then, after you got it trimmed, then you glue it and place it in place. That'll be the start of your steps. Just like that. We'll set this aside. We'll be using bits and pieces of it later. Now is what we're going to do for about 4, maybe 5 of them. We're going to quarter and eighth these. Basically, they're like this, and then one more time. Just like that. That's what we're going to do to all of them. Okay, we got a mess of pizza pies. So now what we're going to do is we're going to place these. Without gluing, we're going to place them in here. See, they hang over. So we're going to have to nip the tip. Place it in here. Make sure that it lines up with your bottom piece. See if I can get it in here. Make sure it lines up. You don't want it to go over. You want it to line up with that bottom piece and touch your pole here. Now we want to take it to almost the edge of that. So because that's where we're going to glue at. We're going to glue right on the pole and right along the bottom there. Then we'll place the first step right there. Second step is going to, well, don't want to glue it yet. We want to check it. See how it overhangs a bit? Got to nip it to make sure that it goes on there. Now when you're putting these on, need more glue. You'll want to constantly be lifting up. That way you want them to be at an angle. The dice will slide a whole lot better. And then we're going to keep doing that all the way around. Now some of these you won't have to nip as much. That's why you have to check it. Like this one, don't have to nip at all, hardly. We'll glue that on. See, beautiful. And to the next, and so on and so forth. Alrighty, we got all the steps on there. Now you don't want to take the steps all the way up. You want to leave about an inch to an inch and a half gap at the top here. And there's a reason for that. I'll show you here in a second. But make sure the top one's about flush. But the closer you get to steps, the more action you have. So, but we're going to let that dry a bit. But I'm going to reinforce the steps with a little bit of glue by going around under the underneath side, right on the pole, and adding a little bit more glue all the way down. Now it's only on the bottom side. Don't want to do it to the top side because it might get in the way of the roll. You don't want anything to get in the way of the roll. So, but there we go. Just like that. We'll let that dry a bit. Okay. Now we'll get back to that half circle we had. Now we're going to quarter that. Just like that. And we'll set that aside. We're going to need that here in a second. But right now, we're going to test this. Now, we don't want to put this straight over top of it because this got a corkscrew. Just to be on the safe side, kind of twist it. Make sure that it goes on there without disturbing the steps. Looks like a perfectly good fit. Beautiful. Very carefully. Take it back off in a twisting motion again. Now, we're going to put this right like this. First of all, we're going to mark it to where it needs to be cut. Just about like that. There we go. We'll check it again to make sure that it's a nice, even fit. And then we're going to glue that right to the pole and the steps. That'll give more security to your steps and give you a wall. Beautiful. Now we're going to work on the walls down here. For that, we need another sheet here. Now we're just going to eyeball it. We'll cut out a piece. We're going to place it right here. So I'll need to cut off another 1/4 inch. Again, like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect, but just a little bit of eyeballing. Just a little bit of eyeballing here to get it into here. That's about the right height. Now we'll get the size. Okay, let's see if that fits in there now. Okay, looks like that'll fit in there, but I'm going to have to trim down the top. Okay. I'll trim down the top at a catty corner angle just to get her in there. A little bit more on the edge. So there's a lot of trimming to do, but we'll get that wall in there. Beautiful, that'll do. Okay, now I'll take the black paper off. Then we'll run our aluminum foil over it. Hot glue it. On the 3 sides. And we'll place it in. Again, that'll put more strength to your steps. Now we want to keep the glue out of the track. And it looks like I might have to shave the wall a bit. That's why it's important to have a sharp knife. Very important. But there you go. Like I said, I got a little bit of a gap there, but that ain't going to matter none. I can always fill in with glue. A little bit of glue at a time, let it dry. That'll make a solid wall. Now the second wall we're going to do is going to be real close to the steps. This wall is the important wall. Because this is where all the action happens. Just like that. Now I can kind of mark it there. Cut it off. Make sure she fits. Beautiful. Everything off. Make it get naked. Stone it up. Test it, make sure I got it going the right way. Now I'm going to trim it just a bit, just for looks, because I was going over a bit there. Just like that. And that way it looks beautiful there. There we go. Now I will glue it. There we go. Put it into place. And again, that adds more stability to your steps. Now on the back side, I'm going to add more glue for secure. I'll get me another glue stick. I've used 3. This makes my 3rd glue stick on here. But there we go. Now again, we're going to test to make sure this goes over top and locks into place. Beautiful. Looks good. Now we're ready for the painting. Before I do that, I'm going to clean my area because we are done with all these. Like I said, the more steps you put in there, the more action you'll have. I mean, the closer you make the steps, the more steps you'll have on there. So, now for the painting. Where is my... There's my black. You want to... Even if you're going to make it a different color, I made mine just pure black because I've got the black tower. But even if you're going to make it a different color than black, you're going to want to paint it black to begin with. So we'll start off with the color black and just paint it. And it doesn't matter if you get it on the base or whatever because, you know, it's black too. So yeah, we'll just go ahead and just paint her all and get her going. Okay, it's almost all dry, but it's dry enough to go ahead and start. Now, if you notice, we're going to have a little cavity here. The dice do not go back here, so I'm going to place something there. Now, you can place whatever you want. You can glue in a dice there. You can glue in some little coins or treasure or whatever. I'm going to glue in a skull. See, that's what I did here. I just put a skull in there. But before I put this one in, I'm going to do some makeup on it. First of all, I want to take a little bit of black, and I'm going to very carefully cover in the eyes. Try to get it as round as possible. That's going to be important because the eyes are inset. Come on, shaky hand. I know you can do it. There we go. Just like that. Okay. And now I'm going to... I ain't got the tip of this right into the red. Oh, I'm going to have to wait for that to dry. Okay. Like I said, this is tedious work, especially on such a small skull. But we want just a little red dot right in the middle. Its black is still a little wet. Come on. Get that little red dot to take. Getting it to take everywhere but the center. Let's see. There we go. If I get it to hang off my... Gotta get it to hang more. Hang time, Darren. There we go. There we go. Little red eyes. Now the reason why I put the black with the red in the center of it, zoom in on that if you would. Now turn the camera ever so slightly left and right. The eyes will follow wherever you go. It's an optical illusion. Dark color on top of bright color, optical illusion. The eyeballs will follow you. Just a neat little optical illusion there. Now we want to glue the bottom of the skull. Place it in the center of the cavity. Just like that. And that is ready. Now we're going to place the top on. Just like that. And we're going to mark where we're going to cut. Probably easier if you got a marker. Of course, I don't have a marker handy because I'm never prepared. But I'll use my pencil and do the best I can. And I'll take it off. Now, this is important because this is tempered plastic. I mean, this is tough plastic. I got my heat knife, which will cut right through this stuff like hot butter. This is one thing. I mean, you can get these at Walmart for just a little under $20. I think this one cost me like 15, 16 bucks. So it's not that expensive. My wife got it for me for Christmas a couple years ago. But this is a must if you want to do this project. Or if you had a Dremel tool, you could cut it. But I find that this actually works better even than a Dremel tool. Be very careful because this is hot. This ain't so much sharp as hot. I mean, this is like 300 degrees. Even where my hand here is, it's warm. Boom. Out she comes. Place that over top of it. Make sure that it's right where I want it. Actually, I'm going to need it a little bit wider. So, I want to go back to my blade. It's tall enough, but I just want a larger opening. So that it comes out good. Don't want the dice to get hung up. Now I'm going to smooth out the edges with a knife. Beautiful. Watch out because that plastic is hot. Like I said, you know, that's some high temperature there. I want to check it again. Beautiful. Now, there is a lip here that we're going to have to get rid of. Right on the finger where this goes in. So we're going to bring our knife to the lip. Bring it down, just right through the lip, right where the opening is. Just right through there. I mean, it's just a small lip. Now, this is a little precarious to get through because the back of the blade is going to be hotter than the front of the blade. But if you can get it through, get that front of the blade through, then you'll be able to do some cutting. There we go. Now the blade's through. Once the blade gets through, it'll go. It's a little slow in going. There we go. There we go. Now at this point, you're going to want a pair of pliers. Pull that away. Again, try to smooth it out. Make it as smooth as possible. There we go. Now we're not done with that blade yet, because now we've got to come up here. Right where you're going to be dropping your dice in, you're going to want to make a circle big enough for your 20-sided, which is your largest dice. Now this one, we're going to gauge. Again, once the tip gets through, should be easy going. What I suggest is making a small hole first, then you can work around that hole. Okay, the hole is done. Now for the test run. There we go. It works. So now we can glue the bottom here to make sure that it seals up. You just make a bead of glue around the bottom, all the way around. And there you have it. Now if you want it, your color scheme will be different than mine if you want it, but after you paint it black, you just put another coat of paint on it of any color you want. But there's your dice tower with your thing in there. So just remember, just have fun with your craft and enjoy, and peace out and have fun.